Hey, real quick, I think I may have COVID. That's part of the reason why this this Transit 2 video has been taking a while to get up. Every time I start editing, I'm like, sleep sounds good. I don't want to work. What is going on today, guys? Andrew Huang here, and welcome back to an episode of WNN, your source for the music and music production news. Got quite a few interesting things to talk about today. Some new plugins, such as Baby Audio's Transit 2, a new Max for Live device from KOAN Sound, a new update to the Subpac X1, and more. In our first story, we'll be talking about the collaborative effort of Baby Audio and Andrew Huang named Transit 2. And believe it or not, it's a plugin that focuses on transitions. It's a multi-effect plugin with quite a few features, many you can get in your stock DAW devices, but they've added some now that you will not find in your stock DAW devices. And one interesting thing about it in general is the ability to control this macro knob, which can control a large amount of macros at once. Now, that may sound pretty easy to do, but it's actually pretty difficult to do with an Ableton rack. I made an alternative for this in the past, and that was the one thing I wasn't able to do with the Ableton rack. Obviously, you could bind a bunch of device knobs to a single knob in your MIDI controller or a macro in an effect rack, but that'll become much more tedious when you want to change it around a bit. And this plugin helps avoid that chaos. But it does seem like a lot of the new effects they've added are at least something you can't do with your stock DAW devices. It's a plugin they claim kills static mixes. You can use 6 different motion modes to control 28 effect modules and create endless forms of movement to energize your tracks. Boring mixes end here. Sorry, my mixes are going to be boring regardless of whether or not I use this plugin. So there are 6 different modes, including a macro mode, and there's an LFO mode, which creates rhythmic FX motion. Then there's a follow-up mode that allows you to build FX chains that move through tracks dynamics, like a living organism. Then the sidechain mode, where essentially the effects are controlled by the sidechain input. And then the gate, which triggers instant FX motion during live performance. And then the sequencer mode, which launches DAW synced transitions with a single click. So it comes with 10 new effects, bringing it to a total of 28. As you can see here, there are many effects you can do with your stock DAW devices, but there are a few that you most likely cannot. I was actually pretty critical of the original version, but I do think version 2 does have quite a bit more going for it. In our next story, we have something very interesting from Bow Wow, Lil Bow Wow. I don't know if you heard anything about him in a long time. Well, Bow Wow says the industry feels Diddy's presence is missing. He says after the BET weekend, there were no parties, no motion, nowhere to go. When Diddy was around, there was always a party and place to go after an event. All right, I think we got the first person actually somewhat defending P. Diddy here. Check his hard drive. In our next story, we actually have a Max for Live device from KOAN Sound. Yeah, you're not alone. I didn't know they were still alive. If you don't know who KOAN Sound is, they are a glitch hop group. I don't know much else about them other than that, to be honest. So this is the palette sequencer. It is only $8. It's for Max for Live only. There is no plugin for it currently. They claim it is a generative Max for Live device that uses color to create evolving MIDI sequences. Seeing as there is limited to no information on it, we're gonna have to check out their video. Oh no, my least favorite thing in the world to do. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have high hopes for this just based on this demo here. Like, it's not the most inspiring demo. It sounds fairly, you know, it's in key, but it sounds fairly random other than that. One thing I'm not really a fan of with this is the whole idea of the colors controlling it. I understand that's the whole point of it, but it just seems like it's just a way to obfuscate how it actually works. You know, which is like, hey, if you knew how it actually worked, maybe you wouldn't want to buy it, right? It can be interpreted as a disguise. Like, I guess an issue I have with this is I couldn't see them using this in their own music because I've heard their own music before and it sounds very intentional. So like, for them to release a generative plugin is a little confusing to me. What I'm curious about, and hopefully they will reveal this, is there a way to lock it? Like, if I'm happy with the pattern that it's created and I don't want it to change anymore, is there a way to do that? Like turning the variance all the way down? There's like no information on it other than this video, so I can't really say yet. So yeah, I guess one of my main criticisms for this is really just the lack of information about it, but it is only $8. I just kind of feel like they phoned in this demo a bit too. Like, I have lots of questions about this, some of which I've already stated, but I guess, you know, like I said, like, can you lock it? Am I able to lock it to like whatever it's set at the moment? Let's say, like, or am I gonna have to render it out to audio? I don't know. It's hard to make a real guess on this without using it, which I feel like is not something you should have within a product. Like, how does this variance knob here? I want to know, is that if I turn it to 0, is it not going to change up at all? Because that would make sense to me, but I don't know unless I buy it. So it works with Ableton 11. I've just read that in the comments here for those of you wondering. So there were people that had to take a gamble on that to find that out. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lack of information here, not good. In our next story, we have some good news. DJ AKADEMIKS has been banned on Twitch. Sorry, false alarm. Turns out it was only for 72 hours. Yeah, can't always get what you want. In our next story, we have an update to the Subpac X1 situation. Scam is crazy. Wow. No, it really is a scam, and it really is a situation, and it really is crazy. For those of you who don't know, Subpac is a company that previously had some reputation, in my opinion. They sold the original Subpacs, and they were pretty popular. I mean, not as popular as an actual subwoofer, but Subpac essentially is a way to get the vibrations from bass without the loud noise of the bass. You know, so you can use it while you're using headphones. It's only you can feel the bass. Not everybody going to be able to feel the bass. They were taking pre-orders for the Subpac X1 in 2020, and the difference between this one is you could wear it as a backpack or you could strap it to your chair. It also had like an integration with an audio interface. It also worked with Sound ID reference. It had a lot of nice stuff going for it. It even had a mobile app for it. Wow. As you can see on the screen here, it looks pretty nice. Now, the problem here comes in with the idea of them taking pre-orders. When you hear the word pre-order, you're thinking it's done or it's about to be done. Well, it turns out they didn't even have these things like close to being made at all yet, because it's now 2024, about to be 2025 within a few months. And will you believe it? They have not even delivered on their first set of pre-orders yet. Terrible stuff. Terrible, terrible stuff. It's just been nothing but excuses. It's been one thing after another. Oh, the transducers. Oh, the transducers. Oh, the transducers. So many times, so many different things. You know, I could give them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt in 2020 originally, when there was a shortage of chips due to COVID. You know, stuff like that. It's like, okay, it's a little more difficult, but it's, you know, like I said, it's about to be 2025 pretty soon, and they still haven't delivered on it. They're still taking more pre-orders, but they still have not shipped on the original ones. So yeah, there's actually been an update on the situation, and no, it's not more shit with the transducers. It turns out they've nearly went bankrupt in 2023. So this is an email sent from Subpac from a man named Bob Travatello. He's a debt advisor and restructuring director, and he seems to be sending this out to one of their vendors. The main goal is to prevent the company from going into bankruptcy and instead assist in a finance deal that will grow the future of Subpac. So he was writing to someone that they currently have an outstanding debt to their company for some time, and they are well aware of their failure to pay you in a timely manner. We want to pay you everything owed, but we need a few months to get this financing deal in place. I'm sure you would rather wait a little longer than having to deal with a bankruptcy court that would result in a fraction of the money owed to you being paid out. I know this is not the news you want to hear, and we truly appreciate your patience as we go through this restructuring process. Your company has been a valuable vendor of ours, and we're trying to do everything in our power to accelerate the financing deal. I will provide an update every few weeks on our progress, and feel free to send me any questions that you may have. So yeah, that explains a lot there, guys. For those of you wondering why you still haven't received your Subpacs, it could be because the company was about to become bankrupt. We got some breaking news here, guys. It's like Vietnam. It just never ends. It never ends. The news never ends. We have some new stuff from UVI. No, not UTI. They've released FALCON version 3.1. It's a free update for existing users. They've also released a few new expansions. Pulsacion, I don't know how you say that. That one being a vibrant collection of handcrafted construction kits and presets exemplifying the rhythmic energy and signature sounds of modern Latin music. The modular drums has 100 kits that are inspired by modular synthesis. In our next story, we have something completely unique and groundbreaking from LANDR. An AI-powered composer plugin using music theory. Wow, that is unique, fresh. So apparently LANDR had acquired Orb plugins, and the company has released an upgraded version of the previous Orb Producer Pro. So essentially they just bought it, made it a little bit better, and re-released it. So it is now known as LANDR Composer, and you can use it to build 4 arrangements or scenes, each composed of 4 modules, including chords, melody, arpeggios, and bass. So obviously you select key, scale, time signature, length of the chord sequence, chord progressions, and then you can tweak or rearrange the chord progressions, and you can change out the chords, chord types and versions, etc. And then once you do that, it allows you to generate melodies, arpeggios, and bass lines over it. And obviously you can drag and drop the MIDI data into your DAW. Okay, roll the clip.
Welcome to LANDR Composer, the all-in-one intelligent plugin designed to provide instant harmonic ideas.
Okay, the vibe I'm getting from this guy recording this video is as if he's being held at gunpoint. There's somebody holding a gun right next to the camera, and he's being forced to say all this. He does not look comfortable at all.
Helping you build a solid foundation to your tracks. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use LANDR Composer.
Okay, never mind, there's nothing here. In our next story, the MPC 3 Beta 3 is now available. Version 3 of the public beta that you can use on your MPC if you weren't able to figure it out from the words I had already stated. So they've added much more flexibility when it comes to track muting, allowing you to toggle between audio and event mute for supported track types. So you can also export drum pads as separate stems. They've also increased the sample loading time, as well as several bug fixes and improvements. No AKADEMIKS Force updates though. In our next story, Solid State Logic has released the SSL2 MKII as well as the SSL2 Plus MKII audio interfaces. Ooh, not gonna lie, it looks kind of nice. It's kind of weird what they've done to the color scheme there. So they've redesigned the mic preamps, giving it 64 decibels of gain and a dynamic range of 116.5 decibels. And they also feature an upgraded 32-bit/192 kilohertz converters, and it still has the 4K analog enhancement circuit, which is one of my favorite things about it from experience. Dual headphone outputs, and then they've also added MIDI I/O. This one features a stereo loopback function. Wow. Okay guys, that is it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Subscribe if you're new here. I post videos like this every few days. If you want to see content every single day though, check out my second channel. It'll be linked down in the description. I'll see you guys next time.